3 hours had passed, and Gabby was still scrolling through her phone. Back and forth she went, first social media posts, then over to silly cat videos, and then back to social media again, over and over and over again. She looked through her phone, and yet she found no one liking or clicking on her posts. She found nothing to inspire her or help her through her life, and Gabby didn't know what to make of it. She was searching for some kind of purpose, some kind of meaning in her life, and nothing seemed to help. The thought kept rolling through Gabby's mind. What do I even matter? Do those thoughts ever cross your mind? Maybe you've had a bad stretch, a couple days in a row that aren't going your way. Or maybe you are really struggling right now, maybe even suffering to the point of Job in the Bible, who had so many horrible things happen to him. Maybe you're somewhere in between, like Gabby, and you're searching for some kind of meaning or purpose in life. We live in a broken world, a world broken by sin, and we ourselves are broken by sin. And that means we're going to have sad days and we're going to have bad days. Sometimes we're going to have tragic days. And through all these troubles, it's no fun to wonder and to worry, is it even worth it? Am I even worth it? Do I matter at all? Well, this week I want to answer that question. I want to answer it so clearly that there are no doubts in your mind. So let me start today and answer that question for you. The answer is yes. Yes, you do matter. And the first reason today that you do matter, that I want to share with you, is because God gave you life. You probably know there are a lot of people in this world who think that we are here just randomly, by chance. It's like a random shake of the DNA dice, and some view us as nothing more than another mammal or a higher level of species or animal. But God has so much more to say to you, and I want to take you all the way back to the very beginning, and maybe today sometime go to the beginning of your Bible. It's easy to find. It's the first page, and read Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, and for those 10 or 20 minutes, just think through as you're reading how powerfully and perfectly and precisely God made everything in all creation. And what was the crowning jewel? What was the little cherry on top that God placed onto his creation? It was human beings. He formed humans last and very differently and very specially. It says that he made Adam and Eve in his own image and likeness. Now, that doesn't mean that they were twins, that they looked the same when they looked at each other or looked in the mirror. But what that means is that they carried the righteousness of God. They were righteous like God. And what is more, they reflected his glory as one who created them so specially and so perfectly. When we're thinking about the question, do I even matter? What's the point? Do I have any value? The first answer is most definitely yes, because God is the one who gave you life. And just as he breathed into Adam and Eve the breath of life and gave them a spirit, making them distinct from animals, so also he did for you. When you were conceived and born into this world, you came into this world with life, but also with a spirit, which makes you different than any other creature in this world. And there's one more thing I want you to think about when you're thinking about the life that God gave you, and that's how special your life is specifically. So if you read a little bit of Genesis chapter 1 and 2 and the creation account today, maybe go to Psalm 139. It partners with it so perfectly. And I'm going to read for you just 2 verses here. This is verse 13 of Psalm 139. King David writes this: "You created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Do you get the picture of that psalm? That God is like a fine needle worker, that he knit us together. Everything about you, your chromosomes, your cells, your DNA, all of your features, You are fearfully and wonderfully made because God made you just the way he wanted you to be. The psalm goes on to say that even before a moment, a day of your life began, God knew every day. He knew everything about you even before you started. So please understand what this means for you. Every day that you wake up is a blessing from God and a gift of his grace, and a day for you to remember God designed you to be you specifically and specially, and you matter because God gave you life.